All right, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Ritenour Middle School's virtual learning night. I'm excited to host you along with two of my favorite colleagues. We've got Dr. Brian Rich, your head principal, and Kim Sagakhaneh, one of our school counselors. You guys want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Kim Sagakhaneh, and I will be the school counselor for all of 6th grade this year. This is my 19th year at Ritenour Middle School, and it's probably the most unusual start, but rest assured that we are here to make this a great experience for you and your child, and just to make sure that we're taking care of you this year.
Hello, Ritenour Middle School families. I'm Brian Rich. I'm entering my 10th year working at Ritenour Middle School. I was a assistant principal for 5 years, and I have been the head principal of the school now going on my 5th year. So I am just pleased to be here with you this evening, virtually.
And my name is Alexander Terrance. This is my 6th year in the district and my 3rd in this role, and I am going to be the 6th grade assistant principal. I will actually be working with your child all the way up until they go to the high school. So I will have them for all 3 years. Excited to meet you guys, and I can't wait till we get back in person so I can meet you face to face. To get started, there's some important people that you're going to want to know as we move through this school year. Dr. Rich, you've already met. He's on this interface with us. I am joined by Alicia Collins, the other assistant principal that works with the 7th grade and splits the 8th grade with me. She's working with 8B as well. Nathan Dwyer, who you might not see running around the building with us on a daily basis because he is a very busy man. He is currently our SSD area coordinator that is working with Ritenour Middle and 3 of our elementary schools. Matthew Berry is one of our school counselors, our Missouri State School Counselor of the Year, in fact. He is also joined by Jeremy Kane, who timely just jumped into this interface to meet with you guys. Jeremy, why don't you take a second to introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, I am Mr. Kane. This is my first year here at the middle school. Before that, I was at the 3 of the elementary schools. I'm really excited to be working with everyone. I'll be between Ritenour Middle, Hake, but I'll mostly be working with our Ritenour Virtual Academy students for
Awesome.
6th through 8th grade.
Glad to have you on here. We also have another team member, Michael Thomas, who some of you might recognize from the elementary schools. Michael is going to be filling in our family and student interventionist position. He is an excellent addition to our staff that works with helping families and students navigate some of the difficulties of middle school. So he's a really great asset to have on our team.
So I want to introduce a concept very, very briefly. It is the Title I program. We are a federally supported Title I school, as our counterparts at Hake Middle. And so you can read this slide and get a little general information, but the key is that as a title school, we need to hear from you on some topics that have to do with structure of the school day, instruction. So what's most important about this slide is that link there. I want to invite each and every one of you to send your feedback our way. Click on this link. It's the Title I survey, and valuable information will be coming our way. Want to make sure that all our stakeholders feel a part of improving Ritenour Middle School. Again, this is also coming out to Hake Middle School. And those of you who are RVA families, you're included in this as well. So want to hear from all of you. Thanks in advance for completing this survey and giving us your feedback on selected topics.
Okay, so we get asked a lot about what a normal day looks like at Ritenour Middle. And you know, what normal is at this point is a little bit challenging to define, but our schedule follows exactly the same schedule as Hake and the Virtual Academy. Mondays for 6th graders, you will see every one of your classes, including both of your Encore. So you'll have your 4 core classes and a Husky time, and you will have your 2 Encore classes at the end of the day. And then on Tuesdays through Friday, you are going to alternate. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll have your first Encore, and Wednesdays and Fridays, you'll have your second Encore. Remember that Monday is a little bit of a shortened schedule. You'll see every class, but you'll see them for less time. And then you have that asynchronous learning time at the end of the day to get work done, connect with your teachers if you need to, any of those things, or any of those you can do during that time period.
So the concept of the middle school teaming process, unique to middle school, similar to a classroom at the elementary level, but now your student will be meeting and interacting with more kids. And so what we do is we break our teams in the 6th grade, really 3 teams, and it is still this way. Typically, we would have a 6A, 6B, and a 6C. Many of our 6th grade families have chosen the RVA online option, which right now, not much difference with that in phase 3, but when we go to phase 2, hoping those families continue to receive the great support that they do from our teachers in the RVA. So your student is assigned to one of those teams. And again, as Mr. Terrance had stated earlier, Ms. Sagakhaneh will be supporting those students on 6A and 6B. Mr. Kane will be your student's counselor if they're in the RVA. Teams are clustered in the building, so this is location. Very important this year as we work to adhere to social distancing guidelines. So the structure of our school is organized every year, but this year even more so, to keep 6A and 6B separated, to build some of that camaraderie. In a typical school year, you would see the mixing of students in their Encore classes. But for now, we have them located in those areas. And a thing to know about your student on their team, each student has a math, English, or ELA on their schedule, science, and social studies teacher at Ritenour Middle. If they are on 6B, it will be one of their other 3 core teachers that will also be supporting them with social studies. A 6A, they have a standalone social studies teacher in Mr. Frigilano. And as I said before, there is your breakdown for admin and counselors. To be clear, Mr. Terrance will support your students at the RVA if anything comes up in need of an administrator, but Mr. Kane is delegated to help those students out. And so speaking of Encore classes, you can see here, these are the offerings known as specials at the elementary level. We continue this work into the middle school level as your students are rising into 6th grade curriculum. A lot of this will look pretty similar. Some of it's different though. Music starts to get tiered out into specific instruments, right? So we have band, orchestra, and choir. World languages is offered, and at your student, by the time they get to 8th grade, may choose to specialize in Spanish and earn a high school credit before they leave us. PLTW, Project Lead the Way, that is a technology pre-engineering based curriculum. PE and health are offered, and you know the big difference in middle school is that PE need to dress out 1 quarter long for each of these classes. And as I said before, in a typical year, this is where those teams would mix. Encore schedules cannot be changed unless you wish to add music. So unless you're a specialist in music, that's a pure rotation.
Okay, so some of you might have noticed that your first period has changed a little bit. We have something called intervention time, or which in the building we're still effectively calling Husky time. The reason why we call it intervention time now is because there's a lot of different things that are going on in that time period to help students connect either through academic support or with academic supports or some behavioral supports. So that time period has changed a lot for us this year in the building. We're going to be doing things like team building and check-ins with our Husky Packs. We also do talk a lot about behavior and how to behave appropriately in the building. That's part of our PBIS interventions and support structure. We're going to be spending time talking about anti-bullying strategies and Ulvaeus prevention. Student conferences like the ones we're scheduled for Thursday and Friday of this week. Student conferences are going to be done with your Husky Time teacher as well. They'll be able to speak to your child's academic performance in their core classes as well as their Encore classes. So that's all done through the Husky Time structure. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about ICU in a minute, but the ICU list is something that we utilize in Husky Time to give students additional time to complete assignments if they need them. The RVA does not have an intervention or Husky Time, but they are going, teachers at the RVA are going to be assigned a case manager that would then check in and work with those students for conferences and some of these supports as well. So even though that's not built in there, your child will still be getting some of these throughout their day. The ICU, so what is it? It doesn't necessarily stand for anything like it does at a hospital where it might mean intensive care unit, but the ICU list is a list where teachers, students, and parents all understand that when a student is on that list, that means that they have incomplete assignments here in the building and that they need to make those up. It's kind of like everybody is seeing your child because we need to make sure that students are completing assignments in a timely fashion. So when a child is entered onto the ICU list for missing an assignment, they immediately get a text or an email. I'm sorry, their parent gets an email or text and alerting them that the assignment needs to be completed. The majority of our teachers also include a link to that assignment right on the email or text, so everybody's on the same page. Teachers have a 2-day turnaround, so when they collect an assignment and one has not been completed, they have 2 days to get it onto the ICU list. And similarly, when your student does complete that assignment and turns it into their teacher, they have a 2-day turnaround to get that assignment off the list. And just so everybody's clear, when your student completes the assignment, you will get another text alert saying that it has been done. So don't let your child try to tell you that it hasn't or that they did the work when you haven't gotten that email or that text. After school activities, normally, as you can tell from this list, which is not an all-inclusive list, so we do have a ton of after school activities that we offer at Ritenour Middle. Unfortunately, because of the shutdown and returning to school virtual, the list has been pared down. We are not going to offer all of these after school activities, but there are a couple to keep your eye on moving forward for the first semester. One is homework huddle. We are trying to get together a homework huddle for students to get additional help from teachers after school that would run from 2:30 to 4. Another program that we offer at Ritenour Middle is called the Family Homework Club, where parents and students, so make sure you're there with them. You guys can get help from WashU tutors that would be available to help your child get additional support in math or English or any subject. As parents, it can help you to be able to help your child as well, kind of like training the trainer kind of situation. And then we are going to be trying to get together a video announcements club where, normal school year, we would have video announcements that we would present to kids during Husky time. We're still going to be trying to do those this year, but using social media to help put those out, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or something like that. So those clubs are going to be available, even though the rest of the clubs are not available virtually. Hopefully we will be able to offer them when we get back to school.
All right, so welcome to the Ritenour Middle Counseling Department. Mr. Barry works with the 7th grade and 8A, and I work with all of the 6th grade and 8B, and Mr. Kane works with RVA and also helps out at both Ritenour Middle School and Hake. So we tend to wear a lot of different hats throughout the school year, but just a few things that we offer. Classroom lessons, we focus on academics, social emotional awareness, college and career readiness. We do small groups where we take groups of 6 or 7 kids and we focus on specific topics. Some of those topics include book clubs or academic help, social emotional help. We are also available for individual counseling if students need a little extra support. We make the connection between school and the community. If we need to seek outside assistance for our students or our families, we partner with Youth in Need, CHADS Coalition, and Preferred Family Health. Currently, during our situation of virtual learning, we're doing a lot of home visits to support families, and phone calls home to families to provide our support. Hopefully we'll be back in school, and Mr. Barry has created a program called Watchdogs. It's a program that dads come into the building and help support students throughout the day. And we also, we have a school counseling advisory committee that I'll talk about in a minute. We meet 2 times a year. We get a group of people, of students, teachers, and parents to help us identify the needs of our students and how we can best support the students and parents. So we are looking for members of that school counseling advisory committee. So if you are interested in that, please feel free to get in touch with me. We would love to have many people support us with this.
We'll be meeting October 14th at 6:30.
Jeremy, you want to go into this one?
Sure. Yeah, so we have the Kids Vision for Life van. It is at Hake Middle School every Friday. You can call that number in the top right corner and schedule an appointment. They're there, I believe, from 9 to 2 over at Hake. And then Ms. Saga had mentioned Preferred Family offers individual counseling. So that's one of the partners that we are working with that are not only doing individual counseling, but also offering a bunch of different small groups, and the topics are right there: stress coping skills, parent support, social skills, self-esteem, art-based activities, yoga. So you can always, schedule something with them at pfh.org/pfhonline.
So another opportunity, I know I'm hearing from a lot of sixth grade parents that the students are needing some extra support in academics. We have the St. Louis County Library is offering tutoring free of charge to all of our students. So you just need to, they'll need to know their ID and their library. If you put a 110 before their ID, that is their library number. They can get help from 10 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night. So if they are struggling with academics, please sign up for this tutoring.
Staff contact information speaks for itself, but want to make sure everybody's aware. If you click on these links, not only will you have office hour Zoom access to teachers. Now, I want to be clear, they're not sitting in those office hours. You would need to schedule a time via email, but that would be the interface that you would want to use. If you're looking to reach a particular teacher by email or phone, all of that is here on these links. It includes Ritenour Middle and the RVA and Hake Middle as well. Some of your students this year, because of the way that we needed to facilitate all these programs, some of your students may actually have an Encore teacher that is a Hake Middle School teacher. And so you'll find those links as well. And those links are being shared with our Hake friends as well. So that is access to every one of our staff members, really all across the district at our middle schools.
I want to extend a thank you to everybody that joined us this evening. I hope you enjoyed this informative welcome back video from some of your Ritenour Middle School staff. If you have students in other grades, check out the other video links because you will have similar videos from the other counselors and administrators in the building. Other than that, have a great day, and I hope to see you in the building soon.